It doesn't matter if you're a coaster enthusiast or not, you have a bucket list of activities that you want to take part in. It can be a country bucket list or a summer bucket list, but when it comes to the coaster industry, some of our roller coaster bucket lists can be pretty ridiculous, but I've updated my list of my top bucket list roller coasters. So these are rides that I'm dying to get out to and take a ride on someday, and I'm making this realistic if I want to accomplish riding all of them. So sadly, no roller coasters in China are going to be featured in this video, but rides such as Beyond the Cloud, Dueling Dragons at Guangzhou Sonicland, and the legendary Dinoconda at China Dinosaurs Park all look incredible, but I don't see myself traveling to China anytime soon. But let's start the video with a coaster that has been bumped off last year's list, which is Voltron at Europa-Park. This is the one and only mock striker coaster that has been built for right now, and I've heard it's a fantastic ride. I'm also doing good at avoiding spoilers on the dark ride portion. It has been something inside me since the ride opened, but besides that, it has 7 different inversions with a crap ton of airtime pops with a track length of a little over 4,500 feet. So it's a big deal that Europa-Park added this. Their last thrill coaster was Rotom back in 2012, so 12 years later, they finally refreshed their due date for a new thrill coaster. Definitely one of Mock's best creations. But we're not done yet with honorable mentions. Another coaster that's been bumped off from last year is ElToro. This is one of 4 Intamin prefabricated wooden coasters left in operation, but we are not done with this model yet, and I've heard that it was getting rougher and rougher every year, but it was getting retracted not that long ago, but I haven't got the chance to visit Six Flags Great Adventure yet. So if you have ridden ElToro recently, let me know what you thought of it down below. But the layout is great, and I expect all of the airtime holes to deliver insane ejector, and you gotta shout out the Rolling Thunderhill. You just shoot up out of your seat. And did I mention the first drop? It is crazy steep, but this is probably my top bucket list wooden coaster in America. Now let's jump into the top 10 by going to Helsinki, Finland for Taiga. This is located at Linnanmaen in the capital of Finland, Helsinki, and this will be the first of 3 Intamin LSM launch coasters in this list. But this has an interesting layout with 2 launches with a speed up to 66 miles per hour, 4 inversions, and a lot of airtime pops. The train design with the bird is a great touch. I also love how he uses the nearby train to his advantage. The height of Taiga is 170 feet, but the drop is 105 feet. Now that's called using the terrain, and it's definitely very high on my bucket list. It looks incredible. But let's fly from Helsinki, Finland to Osaka, Japan for the unhinged B&M Flyer, Flying Dinosaur. This is located at Universal Studios Japan right in Osaka, and this is the most insane B&M Flyer yet. If you thought Manta at SeaWorld Orlando was crazy, take the intensity of the pretzel loop, but it's the whole ride, and that is Flying Dinosaur. This ride features the Zero G roll, but it keeps twisting until on your back and you fly into a pretzel loop. I can't even imagine what that is like. Probably insanity, but I'm always hearing this hype about Flying Dinosaur, and they're basically saying it's a Manta 2.0. So whenever I'll travel to Japan, specifically Osaka or Osaka, it depends how you pronounce it, you can see me hitting up USJ. Now for number 8 is another new ride on this list. It's T-Express at Everland. Everland is located right outside of Seoul in South Korea, and if you've seen people on the internet talk about this thing, it's a mix of ElToro at Six Flags Great Adventure, which we talked about earlier, and Balder at Liseberg, and that is pretty much accurate. The first half is very similar to ElToro, and the second half is like Balder, how it has an airtime hole and a turn, and it repeats over and over again. But out of the many reviews I've read on Captain Coaster or watched on YouTube, the ride has insane airtime, and I've seen someone say that T-Express is better than ElToro, which is crazy. Another reason why this is so high on my bucket list is placement. T-Express has a gorgeous setting next to a mountain, but it does suck that the operations aren't that great. Coming in at number 7 is a coaster that was featured in last year's list. It's Gotham City Escape. This is located at Park Warner, which is located right outside of Madrid, Spain, and it's the second Intamin LSM coaster on this list, and wow, it is a unique beast. This coaster has everything with launches, inversions with hang time, quick transitions, insane airtime pops, and even theming throughout the layout. It's the complete package on Gotham City Escape. Another touch that Park Warner added was onboard audio. Before the ride opened, enthusiasts were worried that the holding brake on the first drop would be a dud, but it's synced up with the onboard audio and it works. It's comparable to a holding brake on a dive coaster from what I've heard. The layout for the coaster is stellar as well, and those trains, holy cow, they are beautiful. This is my most anticipated Intamin in Europe, but we're gonna hit up Europe later. So let's go back to the US, specifically Georgia, for Area Force 1. This is located at Fun Spot Atlanta, and I have no idea why this elite RMC is located at a literal Fun Spot park, but the layout for the coaster is amazing. It features the first drop of nearly 150 feet, in 4 different inversions, and a whole lot of airtime moments crammed into nearly 3,500 feet of track. It's also a great coaster to marathon a lot. There's really nothing to do at the park besides ride the Hurricane Coaster, but the colors of the ride are stunning. Might as well be renamed America the Ride. But whenever I'll travel up north to hit up Six Flags over Georgia, I'll make sure to make a pit stop at Fun Spot to check this thing out. At number 5, this has been on my bucket list for the past 5.5 years. It's Fury 325. This is located at Carowinds on the border of North and South Carolina, and I've wanted to ride this for a very long time. And there was a time period where we were planning to visit Carowinds in July of 2023, but that's when I moved from Ohio to Florida. So I need to make a trip out to Charlotte someday, because holy cow, all of the hype I've been hearing about this coaster is on a whole new level. And I see why. It features a menacing layout with very low peaking turns with a beautiful color scheme. I'm definitely going to show a lot of emotions for my first ride for sentimental reasons. I even have the Nano Coaster Plus for this thing in my room, and that's called Blind Faith. So for number 4, the future for this demented schizophrenic coaster is not looking too bright. I'm talking about Edanika. This is located in Japan at Fujiku Highland, which is next door to Mount Fuji. And for right now, Edanika is standing by not operating, and with the Japanese relying a lot on trust, and with the ride causing a horrifying accident to a maintenance worker not that long ago, I don't think this ride has a very bright future. So if this ends up closing, that's going to be one of the biggest blows in the theme park industry. It might be even bigger than Kingda Ka's closure, and that still feels wrong that Kingda Ka is defunct. But as for the ride, it looks insane, and I'm sure the ride feels insane as well. It has a first drop of 250 feet, and that's nearly a giga coaster, and the ride has a track length of over 3,700 feet. It really sucks that this ride is SBNO, but I really hope the ride reopens soon and it never closes. Now coming in at number 3 is also a coaster that has been featured in last year's list. Let's go to Belgium for Ride to Happiness. This is at Plopsaland Pen, which is an hour and a half away from Brussels, and it's the second ever Mach Extreme spinner, the first one being Time Traveler at Silver Dollar City. But this is the ladder but dialed up to a 12. The layout is even more crazy, and the magnet that is usually under the train that controls the spinning is turned off on Ride to Happiness, so that makes this thing go out of control. And with the ride featuring 5 different inversions and 2 launches, I see why it's one of the best roller coasters in the world. And the double inverting dive loop after the second launch is otherworldly. There is nothing like it. It is by far my most anticipated roller coaster in Europe. But there is a new entry for number 2, and this is a ride that I'm doing my absolute best to not watch a POV of. It's the brand new Stardust Racers at Universal's Epic Universe. I did not expect this coaster to shoot up on my bucket list, but holy cow, I need to get on this someday. As for right now, it is not open to the general public, but Universal pass holders have gotten a chance to experience it, and they are raving about Stardust Racers. And some people say it's better than Veloca Coaster, and I see why. The first half has really strong ejector pops and incredible dueling moments, but the second half is when it kicks into overdrive. It starts off with the Celestial Spin, which is a one-of-a-kind moment, and it's such a spectacle. It also has a turnaround and more bunny hops. The trains are a work of art as well. I cannot wait for this ride to open soon. But if you have seen my top bucket list roller coasters video that I uploaded in 2024, you're not going to be surprised on what's number 1. But I still give the edge to Veloca Coaster, the crown jewel, as my number 1 bucket list roller coaster. This is located at Universal's Islands of Adventure, which is down the road from Epic Universe, and the reason why this barely edges out Stardust is because of the theming. It really enhances the ride experience, and if there was a clone of it but without the rock work, it's not going to be the same. But the coaster features 2 different launches, a height of 155 feet, and a speed up to 70 miles per hour. And during my last visit to SeaWorld, we drove by Islands of Adventure, and I saw a little bit of the top height of Veloca Coaster on night 4, and I did take a photo of it, and I was flipping out. I also forgot to mention the Mosasaurus roll. That's the final inversion, and it's pretty comparable to the Death Roll on Iron Gwazi, and that moment is unbelievable, so I can't even express on how hyped I am for Veloca Coaster. It doesn't matter what the wait time is, I'm doing this when I'm visiting Iowa for the first time, and it easily takes the cake as my number 1 bucket list roller coaster. So I want to hear from you guys. What are your top bucket list roller coasters? And if you enjoyed my top 10 countdown, make sure to give it a like. Our goal for 2025 is to hit 700 subscribers before next year, and it would be greatly appreciated if you decided to support us. And you can expect a new video coming out in the next 5 days, so keep that adrenaline pumping and have a happy Easter.